Hey guys, welcome back to the Bad Idea Boys. With Steven having moved away, so he's not going to be on our videos anymore, I kind of figured I'd do something a little different this week. Uh, so I decided, anybody who knows me knows that I'm pretty into science. I read papers, watch YouTube videos, and whatnot. So I figured this week I would just cover a question that I've been being asked kind of a lot lately. It's an odd question for somebody to be asked a lot, but I guess it's something that a few people have been curious about. I've answered it for probably about 6 people as it is now. Um, so just to cover bases, the information that I have on this is gotten from a lot of papers, other YouTube channels, just general research that I've done. It's really difficult to narrow down exactly where I got all of it from. I know some of the information on black holes came from places like ASAP Science and Because Science, neither of which are in any way affiliated with us. Other ones were papers that I read, articles. I think I watched some things on. Um, I can't remember the name of the YouTube channel. It's like a television channels. I want to say like National Geographic or National Geographic. It might have been like a CBS thing. I don't recall. But anyways, so the question that I've been being asked quite a bit came up around the time that we got our first picture of the black hole. Funny enough, the picture was, well, I mean, not necessarily the picture itself, but uh, the young lady who figured out the algorithm to get the picture is the same age as me, so you can see where my accomplishments have landed me. Um, with that said, it brought up a lot of conversations about black holes amongst me and some people that I know, which then led to conversations about white holes. For anybody who doesn't know, black hole, there's a lot of theories as to how they come about, or where they came from. Most understood that I have heard, anyways, is that they are stars that essentially died. Um, with that, there's this theory out there that black holes have an opposite force in the universe, referred to as white holes. Black hole being an object so dense that nothing, including light, can escape it. It compresses and breaks apart the atoms, ripping anything that gets close to it into pieces, um, and none of it can escape. It's there forever. White holes are effectively the opposite. On the event horizon of a black hole, time and space cease to exist as separate entities, and that's the point of no return. Um, it's too late. With a white hole, they expel matter, and on the event horizon, nothing can enter it. So it's just a source of matter in the universe expelling outwards, quite the opposite of a black hole. So I was asked what I thought would happen if a black hole and a white hole collided. I actually haven't found any information on exactly what would happen so much as theories of how the two entities or celestial bodies, or however you want to refer to them, anomalies, how the two of them are connected. There are theories saying that white holes are black holes that reach critical mass and altered in order to expel the matter that they've absorbed. There are theories about white holes and black holes being connected via a wormhole, which would basically mean that one is the entry point and the other being the exit, implying, I would assume, that for every black hole in the universe, there is a white hole somewhere. Which, I don't know, I feel like that kind of loops in with a level of quantum entanglement and things. Atoms reacting with each other across distances. That's a conversation for a different time. But essentially, it all boils down to what your understanding of what a white hole is and how they're connected to black holes. If a black hole reaching critical mass converts into a white hole, if a white hole and a black hole collided, one event horizon wouldn't allow the white hole to escape, the other wouldn't allow the black hole to enter, so they would be at a stalemate. One dumping all of its atoms into the other until it reached critical mass, switching, and likely they would be in this constant back and forth. One reaching critical mass and alternating, one losing its mass and devolving. At least that's what I would assume or understand. The other theory being that white holes and black holes are connected via wormhole. If it was the same white hole to connect to the black hole, or if it was the white hole that is connected to that black hole, then it would just become a perpetual motion machine, essentially. One would dump into the other, which would immediately send through, and the cycle would just repeat, again putting them at a stalemate. So the question really is what your understanding of it is, or what your belief of something that is completely theoretical. We have never observed a white hole. It wasn't until recently that we were able to even get a picture of a black hole, which at one point in human history was believed to be a myth. With that said, I mean, white holes were simply used as an explanation. No evidence for them, which is why most people aren't taught about them. You kind of need evidence to support something before you can make claims about it. So with that said, there's no unified theory, to my knowledge, on white holes at all. Black holes are still, for the most part, a mystery. We know a little bit about them. I mean, a lot of it is minor observations that we've been able to make. Mathematics help with the majority of understandings, things like that. Ultimately, being able to observe the behavior of an entity, a substance, things like that. If we're able to observe certain behaviors, science and mathematics can pretty accurately predict the behaviors of other situations regarding the same substances or the same entities would be. Much like, to my understanding, we have never observed a planet actively colliding with another planet, but we know what would happen using our understanding of our planet, derived from science, derived from mathematics, and then doing the calculations to determine both in collision, similar to the way that we determine car accidents. Two objects moving at such rate of speed, we can pretty well determine the effects of said collision. So with that, we have more or less determined what would happen if a planet collided with a black hole. I've heard theories on what would happen if two black holes collided. Most of them essentially say that it would just become a super black hole, similar to the one at the center of the Milky Way galaxy. If white holes exist, and we ever have the opportunity to observe one behaving in any sense, we could then likely make accurate predictions as to what would happen. Everything that I have said in this video is speculation based off of what information I have at my disposal, and I am by no means a scientist outside of just interest. I believe it was Albert Einstein that once said, I have no special skills or talents, simply curiosity and passion. And that more or less explains my scientific knowledge. Nothing unique, nothing special, nothing that somebody else couldn't read or watch video on, um, or in some instances, experiment for themselves to determine. Science is one of the most amazing hands-on schools of logic, in my opinion. Which opinions, well, they're just that, they're opinions. Um, I believe it was Neil deGrasse Tyson who at one point said that every child is naturally a scientist, experiencing new things constantly and experimenting with them to determine what outcome would happen. I believe the example that he used was a child getting into the refrigerator and discovering an egg. And the first thing that they test is what would happen if I dropped it? What would happen if I threw it? What's inside of it? What's the outside of it made of? Curiosity is a natural state for children, and at some point we lose some of that curiosity, or some of us do. So, to all of you out there who took the opportunity to watch the video, I hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to check up on anything that I said. I don't think I made any extraordinary claims, so I don't think that any of it was inaccurate, but I could be wrong. And see you next time.